From a Nokia 3310 to an iPhone 11, from riding a two-wheeler to driving a four-wheeler, from buying groceries from a Kirana store to buying groceries in an expensive mall, my life has changed. But if I've spent so much, who has earned? Hi guys, Rachna Ranade here, and I welcome you all to my Saturday lecture series. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about the Indian consumption story. In today's video, we are going to discuss about what is the demography of our population, what are their spending habits, and if we are talking about the spending habits of these people, as I mentioned in the introduction part, there are going to be some companies who are going to benefit out of these. Then who will be these companies in which I might invest, and in turn, even I should be benefited for this. So let's understand the demographics of India. I'm sure after listening to Modi ji's speech, everyone knows about how much is the Indian population. मेरे 125 करोड़ देशवासी हूँ, but that was like way back. Now, we are very consistent and everyone may not be, the GDP numbers might not increase that much, but the population will definitely increase, right? So from that 125 crores, we are almost touching 135 crores population in India right now. Now the biggest question is, what is the split of this entire population? The split is that barely 3% of this total population comes into middle class. Right now, I'm sure every other household of India might be saying that we are in the lower middle class or we are in the upper middle class. But we have to understand who is defined to be in the middle class. So let's understand the core definition of a middle class person. The definition says that if the per capita income level is up to $2 per day, so roughly you are earning 140 rupees per day, then you fall into the poor category of people. If your income is between $2 to $10 per day, then you are treated as a lower income group. Okay. If the middle income group or the middle class person is to be defined, then these are people who are earning between $10 and $20 a day. So $20 one per day, if I convert with a 70 rupees exchange rate, then it comes to roughly 5.5 lakh rupees per annum. Okay. So that is, if you are earning 5.5 lakh rupees per annum, then you would be considered into the middle class category. I hope you have understood the definition of middle class category. Now, if we check this out, that how many people are in the middle class category, that's what I told you. Out of the entire Indian population, only 3% of the total population is a middle class population. That turns out to roughly 40 million, that is 4 crore of the Indian population. So let's understand that if I talked about the classification of people based on how much they are earning, do you think that a person being classified or being tagged into the poor category would remain in the poor category for lifelong? Answer is obviously no. A household which might be in the poor category might shift to the low category group. A household which is in the low category group might go to the middle class, and so on and so forth. Now, how can there be a change in this? Number one is education. A good or a better education will make you more employable. And if you are more employable, definitely your income levels will increase. Number one. Number two, with factors like globalization, there are so many companies outside India who are coming into India and are setting up their own businesses. More and more businesses being set up in India, obviously more employment opportunities will open up. I'm sure you might have also heard about ease of doing business in India. Our ranking has significantly increased. That is why more and more companies are coming into India and are investing in India. This could also lead to higher employment generation. Why only talk about being employed with someone else? We can also talk about being self-employed. For that, government has also certain initiatives like giving a mudra loan. And I know many people who have actually got benefited from this scheme, and they have started their dream project, because of which their income levels would definitely show a shift as compared to what it was in the recent past. Just to give you a statistical input on this, the change in income level distribution from 2001 to 2011, the number of poor people who got shifted into the other segments was something like this. So in the poor category of people, there was a 15% drop. Okay, so the category of poor people, let us say, just as an example, was 100. Then in 2001 to 11, now from 100, they have gone down to only 85 people who are poor. Okay, it's not only, but I'm just giving you an example. So 15% drop in the poor category, and low income group has increased by 14%. Now please understand, if this journey from being poor to being in the lower income group has happened in a span of 10 years, then don't you think over 11 to 21 people from low income group could shift into middle income group? And if that be so, we have to understand the spending pattern of these middle income group people. So let's understand how much an average Indian spends and on what. So in 2013-14, the average spending per capita was 52,000 rupees, and it has steadily increased and has gone up to 77,085 in 2017-18. Okay. Now the next question is, where has the spending taken place? It has taken place in various categories like clothing and footwear, and it says that it has grew by 10%. If I'm talking about health, it has grown by average growth rate is 17%. Education has increased on an average 14%. So people have spent on education, 14% spending is higher. And this can be evidenced with the fact that I was staying in a rented house 10 years ago and today I've bought a new house, right? Because people are spending on education. On a lighter note, that was of course. But even if you think about apps like Byju's, if they can sponsor the Indian cricket team, you can imagine what sort of funding they might have got, what amount of funding they might have got. And the moment an investor is investing in a company like Byju's, even these investors feel that there is a possibility of growth in this sector, right? So it's not only education, it's health, it is clothing and footwear, it's communication, and many, many more. So if the total consumption, the total spends have increased over a period of years, we have to understand it's an expense for people like you and me, but which companies are benefiting out of this? And this is exactly what we are going to talk about in the last section. This video is brought to you by Smallcase. Smallcases are modern investment products that help you to build low-cost, diversified, and long-term portfolios. Now that we have understood that people are spending a lot on fashion and accessories, people are spending on health insurance, people are spending in preventive insurances, people are spending on entertainment, right? Then which are the companies which can potentially earn a higher income out of all these spending patterns? Now again, understand, if I am a normal investor, I don't know which all are the companies who are fitting into this theme, who has made our life easy, and that is Smallcase. You can invest in Smallcase through a variety of brokers. They have tied up with 7 brokers, including Zerodha, including Edelweiss, Axis, and so many more. You can check with your broker if your broker gives the facility of Smallcase or not. So just to give you an experience, what you can do is, this is the homepage. I've logged into the Zerodha account through which I've gone to Smallcase. Here you can find a tab of Discover Smallcases. Now there's a Smallcase named as brand value. So first of all, they give us an overview of why we should invest in this Smallcase. And this exactly talks about what we have discussed in the entire video, that spending habits have changed. A lot of disposable income has increased in the hands of millennials. Our aspirational class is huge. People are spending on food, beverages, clothing, exactly what we have talked about. Then, as I mentioned, we have to understand which companies. For that, we go into stocks and weights. Okay. In stocks and weights, we can understand here apparel and accessories. So they talk about investing in. So we give a flat amount. It's not like we give a flat amount to anyone. But if I were to invest in this theme, I just go to buy Smallcases. But here the minimum investment amount is 33,913. Okay. Now, where does this 33,913 get invested into? It gets invested into all these stocks, like Aditya Birla, VIP Industries, which is into apparel and accessories, in paints, Asian Paints, in home electronics. So like I was talking about buying new house, paints, home electronics. I was talking about health insurance. It's hospitals like Dr. Lal Patla. It could be ICICI Prudential Life Insurance. I was talking about entertainment. It could be Indian hotels. It could be Inox Leisure. I will not talk about tobacco. Okay, it could be restaurants. It could be Jubilant Food Works, Domino's Pizza. I'm sure everyone knows about that. Departmental stores, from the Kirana Wala shop to a departmental store. So all these companies actually fit into the consumption pattern. And if I were to invest in all these companies, you can imagine how boring it would be to go into the buy tab, select the company, buy a stock, again open the tab, buy a company, select how much quantity. So I would have been required to do this like 14-15 times. Instead of that, life is simple. Just click on buy small cases. This one says this is the minimum amount which is required to be invested. When I say confirm amount, the entire list will get bought in just one click. Now, it's also very important that currently they are investing into all these companies. Does this remain same or do they change it? So basically, this small case, they review this entire list, and after every quarter they shuffle it if they feel it is required. Let's also understand how much returns have they got over the period of last few months or years. If you just check this out, on a monthly basis, small case, there was a negative return of 87.87, but the Nifty return was a positive 3.5%. Over 6 months, small case has shown a 6% return, but Nifty 1% return. 1 year, 14% versus 12%, small case winning in this one. 32%, 16%. 94%, 51%. 4 years, 85%, 52%. And if I take the max amount, max time frame, its small case has given a return of 205% versus Nifty of 92%. So I feel the underlying is, again, don't look at stocks, don't look at stock market from a very short term perspective. If you become an investor, there are great chances that you are going to be on the winning side. I hope you have understood today's video, and if you have also enjoyed the content. It takes a lot of time to do a research and then build the entire theme, the flow of the lecture. If you feel that you have liked it, if you feel that it was worth it, do consider subscribing to my channel. Also share the video with your friends if you feel it's worth it. And if you want to invest in small cases, then you can just check out the link in the description box. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you once again. That's it from my side. Jai Hind. Bye bye.